Okay, so for question 6, we want to find the exact radius of a circle with a chord that is 8 centimeters long. So that's drawn already here. We could call that AB if you like. Give it some notation. So this is the chord AB. And this length is 8 centimeters, the complete length of the chord. And it's 5 centimeters from the center. So the center is around here. And then we will add on a line. So this length here will be about 5 centimeters, will be 5 centimeters. And I'll add on the radius line here down to there. Okay, so this black line then is 5 centimeters long. And that usually refers to the perpendicular distance. So that's 5, AB is 8. And as we're going through the center and we have a right angle here, this is bisecting the chord into 2 parts. So this length here will be 4 each. So now we can apply Pythagoras to find the radius here. So that would be 5 squared plus 4 squared would be equal to r squared. So we're going to have 25 plus 16 is r squared. R squared will be equal to 41. Okay, some of you may have used 8 here, so you've probably got a wrong answer if you used 8 instead of 4. So that's a common error. So r will be the square root of 41. And if you wrote a decimal, that would be root 41, which is 6.40. So 6.40 centimeters. Okay, but the exact form, which is what is asked here, would be this number here. So in the test, this is what you would write rather than the decimal. That would be cm. So that's your answer for question 6. Okay, so for question 7, we will construct a circle first. We'll make a circle like that. And we want to find how far from the center of a circle with radius 10 centimeters. So the radius is 10 centimeters and the chord length is 7 centimeters. And we want to know how far this chord is from the center of a circle. So we have a circle here already. We'll put a chord in anywhere you like. Not using green though. We'll use a pen. So we'll put a chord in somewhere. So this is 7 centimeters long. And we'll mark a center somewhere as close as we can. So that's about the center there. And the radius is 10 centimeters. So we'll put a radius line on. Like that. We only need one side. And then we'll drop down a perpendicular line down to the chord. Like that. And that will form a right angle here. So the radius is 10 centimeters. And the chord is 7. So half of 7 is 3.5. And we'll call that x for the perpendicular distance that we want here. So then we just apply Pythagoras. So we'll have x squared plus 3.5 squared equals 10 squared. So just rearrange that a bit. X squared is 10 squared minus 3.5 squared. So x will be the square root of this number. So we'll just write that as 10 squared minus 3.5 squared. And when you put that in your calculator, you'll get 3 root 39 on 2. And that will be 9.37. for your distance here from the center of the circle to the chord. So that's 9.37 centimeters. That's your answer there. So let's go down to the next question. I want to pause my recording. Okay, for question A then, we have a circle with radius 89 millimeters and has a chord drawn 52 from the center. So the key here is the chord is 52 millimeters from the center of the circle. I want to know how long is the chord to the nearest millimeter. So we'll draw a circle like that. And then we'll mark the center somewhere around here. Let's add on a chord. We don't worry about scale, we just draw it to get an idea of what's going on. So put a chord on somewhere and we'll add a radius line. Let's put that here. And then we can drop down a perpendicular line down to the, down to the chord. And then we can label. So we have the chord length, or the radius is 89. So we'll put that on as 89. That's this length here. The chord is 52 from the center. So this line here is 52 millimeters. And we want to find the length of the chord. So from here to here, call that X. So you can see here we have another right angle triangle and a right angle here. And we can find this length here because this chord is bisected by this black line here. So this will cut the chord in half. So let's call that A for now. And then we'll find A and then we can find X. So we'll use Pythagoras here again. So we'll have A squared plus 52 squared is 89 squared. So by rearrangement, we'll have A squared is 89 squared minus 52 squared. So A will be the square root of this number, 89 squared minus 52 squared. And in your calculator, you should get 72.23 millimeters for A. But remember, your chord is double that length. So for X, so your chord length, which is X, we will multiply A by 2. So 2 times 72.23. So our chord length will be 144.46 millimeters. So that would be the length of this chord here, 144.46 millimeters. So question 9, we have O is the center of a circle here with radius 10 centimeters, and TOR, MTN, and PRQ are straight lines. They're shown in the diagram. PQ is 16, so that's this length here in yellow, and TR is 14. We'll do that in green. This is 14. Find the length of MN. So we need to find the length of this blue line here. Okay, so we can add on the radius line because we're given the radius, so we should add a line on for that. So the radius can go from the center to P. I could also draw it to Q, but I only need one side. And then I'll draw a new line from M to O. So both of those are radius lines. So this is R and R, and they're both equal to 10. So this is 10 and 10. And PQ is 16. And as this line bisects the chord, this would be cut in half. Okay, so if PQ is 16, PR must be 8. Okay, so, and also TR is 14. We should label that. So this is 14 here. Okay, so then the first thing to do is get OR. Okay, we can't get MN yet because we don't have enough information for this green line. So we'll call that X and I'll call that Y. So OR is X, so we'll have X squared plus H squared is 10 squared. So X will be the square root of 10 squared minus H squared. So X will give you 6 cm. Okay, so this length here is 6 cm. And by subtraction then, Y would be 14 minus 6, wouldn't it? Which will give you 8 cm for Y. So then we need to do Pythagoras again. Let's call that B. So we'll have B squared plus H squared, which is equal to 10 squared. So B squared will be 10 squared minus H squared. B will be the square root of that number, which works out to be 36. So B will be 6 cm. So MT is 6. Therefore, MN will be equal to 12 cm. And that's your final answer there.